Hi, and welcome back. You're doing absolutely fantastic. You've learned a ton of things so far, and I'm very proud of you. As you listen to these things, as you hear these things, as you rethink things, you're learning, you're growing, you're becoming at a new level. I'm very, very proud of you. Now we're going to learn about another powerful philosophy, literally a truth about reality, is that there's 5 roots of suffering. 1, not knowing what is real. 2, grasping and clinging to that which is unreal. 5, being afraid of the unreal and recoiling from it. 4, identifying with an imaginary self. And 5, fear of death. Let's take a look at each. The first is not knowing what is real. Remember I told you 99.9% of what you think is real or true is not. When you ask yourself, is this true? How do I know it's true? Is it absolutely positively true? And you hunt down the answer, you're going to find out to your own satisfaction that it really isn't true, or that you can't prove it's true. A lot of the things that we think are truths are just lies that we're in love with. That's not the same. No matter how much you love a lie, it's still a lie. So the Zen philosophy is to find the absolute truth. This will help free us. Now, the second source of major suffering is grasping and clinging to the unreal. If you believe something is true and you act on it as if it's true and it becomes an illusion, this will destroy your life. Will absolutely, positively destroy your life. So we base our lives, literally our entire lives, on things that we don't even know are true. And what are the chances of them being true? About 1/10 of 1%. Remember, 99.9% of everything we think is true isn't true. But we'll base our entire life on it. I watch people waste their lives, their entire lives, on just horrible misconceptions. They're in a prison of their own illusion. This is like somebody trying to get to a destination and risking everything and spending their whole life getting to the wrong place. We have to break free of this, or we're never going to know happiness. The third root of suffering is being afraid of the unreal and recoiling from it. We are afraid of so many things that don't even exist. Look on the slide here. It says we're attacked by our own thoughts. Remember the things we feel bad about in the past? They don't exist, but we cringe when we look back on them. We think about horrible things that could happen in the future, and we're fearful of something that doesn't exist. We are literally attacked by our own thoughts. We have this negative self-talk, this inner critic that attacks us all the time. And we listen to it as if it's true because it's coming from our head. It's literally a mental defect in the human mind that you have a part of yourself that attacks you on a regular basis. You have literally like a critical parent in your head that takes over for your parents. It's part of how you become independent. When they stop warning you about things and you start warning you about things, they say you're an adult and you can maintain yourself. But actually what you're doing is you're destroying yourself. And everybody has this. It's ingrained in us from childhood. It's one of the catch-22s of being human. We do something called metacognition. We think about our thinking. And then we think about our thinking about our thinking. Animals simply think and do and act. They don't think about the past. They don't think about the future. And they don't have an inner voice in their head saying, hey, dummy, you didn't do that right. Or worry about this, or feel bad about that. They don't feel bad about anything. This is a human defect, and we have to remove it, and we're going to teach you how to do this later in this course. Identifying with the imaginary self. Now you've got this negative voice in your head telling you you're no good, 1,000 negative things it tells you a day, and what do you call that? Your personality. I call it your ego. Because it isn't you. It's an imaginary you. It's a defective part of you. Almost like when I work with my addicts, I say, no, no, there's a good, kind, loving person in there. That's you. Then you got this evil little part of yourself. It's just a little tiny slice of your brain called your addiction, okay? And anytime you hear your addiction say anything related to taking drugs or alcohol, that's just one little insane part of your brain. We all have multiple personalities within our mind, including this negative characteristic. But we can take the rest of our mind, the rest of our personality, the rest of our strength, and say, I don't listen to that part anymore. That's just my negativity talking. That's just my ego talking. That's just my addiction talking. Listen to the kind, loving parts of yourself. That's the right thing to listen to. At the level of spirit, where you listen to yourself and you listen to the truth, you don't hear these negative things. Matter of fact, if you listen to these negative things, use your Zen philosophies. Is it true? Can I prove that it's absolutely true? No. The negative part of you is always telling you a lie. Now, the best lies are part true. That's why you think they're true. They might even look like they're 80, 90% true. But when you drill down, they're not absolutely true. They're transitory. They're fictional. They're a spin. They're negative spin on everything that happens to you. That's your ego. That's your fictional self. We need to hunt that down and kill it. We're going to free you from that with Zen. And finally, the fifth one is the fear of death. I love this little quote. It says, everybody wants to go to heaven. Nobody wants to die. This is a funny piece because this is how you can tell people don't actually believe in their own religion. Remember we said, can you prove if something's true? If you believe in God so much and you believe in heaven so much that if I shoot you in the head, you should be happy as hell. But everybody gets down on their knees and begs and cries and wets their pants and they don't want to die. Why? Because intuitively they know it's the end. They don't think they're going someplace better. If they did, they'd be so excited. Why do they cry at the funerals? Literally, that person, if you believe in your religion, is going to heaven. Oh my God, they're in the ultimate place you could ever be in. Why would you cry? They should be looking down at you crying, saying, those poor bastards are still stuck there. Must be purgatory because Earth has got to be halfway between heaven and hell, right? Why would you ever cry about somebody going to heaven? It doesn't make any sense based on your own damn religion. So it's one of those bizarre things. Everybody is afraid of death. Well, almost everybody. Now, why don't the Zen people fear death? They don't fear it because they know it's going to come. They know that it gives life meaning. And you don't have to fear something that is simply a cycle of life. You're born, you have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Your only job is to enjoy it all the way through. And when it ends, it ends. You've gone through this in your entire life. You watch a TV show. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Everything's been like that. You went to school, had a beginning, a middle, and an end. Everything works like that. You work like that. There's no reason to fear it. You don't have to be afraid to die. I guarantee you, you'll die. Death is just another transition. You're not going to go to heaven. You are going to just simply blink out, and that'll be it. There's no pain. There's no loss. There might be some pain on the way out. I hope I get some really good drugs on the way out. I'm like Woody Allen. I'm not afraid to die, but I don't want to be there when it happens. It looks painful. But I'm not afraid to die. I'm not afraid to end. I once saw a bumper sticker. It said, the question isn't, is there life after death? The question is there life before death? So don't be afraid of dying. You're going to die. There's going to be a beginning, a middle, and an end. The end is no different. It's an instant. The real question is, did you live while you were alive? And that's the question of Zen. Did you spend all your time thinking about the past, run those old movies, run the scary future movies of your future, never living in the now, never contributing, never giving, never growing? Did you not absorb the wholeness of life? If you absorb life the way you're supposed to from the Zen philosophy and suck it all up, you won't feel bad about dying. But if you live a typical existence, a pitiful existence, never really in the now, taking only one little sip off the top of the cup of life, and then you die, having left the cup full, then you will have a massive fear of death because you know you never truly lived. And that'll be the sorry end. If you lived a full, rich life, then you won't fear dying. Now, great Zen philosophy. Suffering is the pain we hold on to. The pain that you have inside of you is like a hot rock that you hold on to. And you suffer with it and say, well, I have to. No, you can let it go. You say, well, they did this to me or this happened to me, so I have to feel bad forever. Who the hell told you that? I would hunt that person down and I would beat him about the head and face. And then I would never listen to them again. And then I'd probably slap myself a few times for having listened to them. This is ridiculous. Why would you ever hold on to your pain? We are taught in this society that if you do something bad, you have to feel bad for a real long time or between now and you die, depending upon the offense. The reality is, once something happens, feel it, emote it, vent it, whatever you got to do, but then you let it go. That's what's naturally supposed to happen. When something negative happens in our life and we suffer, we're supposed to take the lesson. We're supposed to feel that. It's a feeling experience. But then we're supposed to let it go. But amazingly, people hold on to their pain. They have the illusion that if something costs them a lot, that it's valuable. No. If I lost my business and I went into bankruptcy and I lost everything, I wouldn't have to feel the pain of that forever. Why? Well, it cost me a lot of money, so I say, oh, it's valuable. Look how much I lost. No. It's not worth anything. Your pain isn't worth anything. I'll tell you what. Take a 10-pound bag of your pain. Take all the pain you got. Throw it over, put it in a sack and throw it over your shoulder and walk out on the street and see how much you can sell it for. Nobody will give you a nickel for it. Matter of fact, they'll probably pay you good money to get the hell away from them so they don't get any of that on them. It has zero value. Your pain has no value. Let it go. Here's the dirty secret of psychology. All problems are maintained. If you do not maintain the problem, it disappears. Think of it this way. What is depression? Depression is when you have a negative thought in your head and you think it over and over and over and over and over again. As a matter of fact, you have to think it in a constant stream, because if you're not constantly thinking about your depression, the minute you stop, it disappears and won't come back until you start thinking about it again. A lot of people are horribly depressed and they get distracted by something and they're working on something or doing something and their depression mysteriously goes away, and then they say, then that thing gets done. They go, thank God that's done. That was distracting. And they go, oh yeah, I'm depressed, and they sink right back into it. Same thing with anxiety. It works the same way. Problems are maintained. Low self-esteem, you have to think you're crap all day long. If you stop thinking that, or do the opposite, think positive things about yourself, the low self-esteem goes away instantly. All problems are maintained. So the question isn't, why do I have this horrible anxiety or depression? The problem is, what is my system? How do I constantly maintain it? What do I think? What do I do? How do I hold my body? How do I breathe? The physiology of it, the psychology of it. What do I think about? What are my philosophies? What are my beliefs? Write these things down and say, how do I maintain my problem? Take 15, 20 minutes, half an hour, whatever it takes you to figure out your system for being depressed or feeling bad or feeling guilty. Write down that formula. Here's what I do: first, second, third, and fourth. And you'll have the perfect formula for how to be depressed, anxious, low self-esteem, social phobia, whatever it is. And here's what you do. If you want to get rid of it, just stop doing those things. Do nothing. When you do nothing, what happens? Serenity. When everything is removed, you're in a perfect state of serenity. You need to shut the hell up. Your brain is picking on you 24/7. And when your brain is silenced, it stops. Serenity. Perfect, utter serenity. It's one of the secrets of Zen. When you remove all thought, perfect spirituality, perfect serenity. No magical, mystical formula. It's the absence of negative thoughts. Boom.